Spider-Man versus the Green Goblin. It's a classic fight. What's up, everyone? This is Corey from the OverLook, and we go over the books you may have overlooked. Before we get started, I just wanted to welcome anyone who may be new here. And to anyone who is a returning viewer, I just wanted to say thank you. This is the 50th. That's right, the 50th video in our Superior Spider-Man playlist. That's a big deal. You know, I never thought that I would be making audio comics, especially of the Superior Spider-Man of all characters. But I'm so glad you guys are letting me share this with you. This series has been a lot of fun. It's been 31 days. The so-called Superior Spider-Man has failed. Under his watch, the Green Goblin took control of New York's underworld. This is all Otto Octavius' fault. Now, it's his responsibility to take the Goblin down. Win or lose, this shall be Otto's greatest battle. Going by all available data, Otto Octavius, the Superior Spider-Man, has achieved his goal. By targeting and destroying every major crime syndicate, he has effectively ended organized crime in New York. So why is the city laughing at him? It can't be happening. It's impossible. All 5 boroughs are under his surveillance, yet none of this is registering. He can hear the police sirens, screams, and gunfire. He's not deaf, so how can he be so blind? After months of tireless work, after crushing the dissent within his own ranks, he should be done. Crime should be a statistical anomaly. And yet, police reports are coming in garbled. Links to the Daily Bugle's newsfeed are crashing. His Spider-Bot cameras are showing no emergencies. But the city's burning. I can see it. Spider Island, come in. Nothing. Then it happens. An entire grid in Otto's citywide sweep shuts down. He soon learns it's the area around the Brooklyn Bridge, and he tells himself he has to go. He has to see this with his own eyes. Until now, Otto thought only 2 criminals had escaped his detection. The 2 hobgoblins, Uric and Kingsley, the idiot and the coward. He could never account for that glitch in the system. Until now. He was chasing the wrong goblin. All this time, it was Osborn. And now, he wants Spider-Man to know. Not just that it's him, but that it's over, and he's already won. Within the mindscape, inside the shared psyche of Otto Octavius and Peter Parker, Peter is taking in everything he can. He's been wandering around there for long enough. Now, he knows 31 memories. That's it. Everything Ock poked and prodded through before he dumped the rest. All the ones Otto committed to his memory. And now, they're all Peter's got. The sum total of whatever existence he has left. The question is, what can he do with them before the doctor finds out? Suddenly, Otto's face appears in the clouds. Accessing memories. A mental construct of a bridge emerges from the ground. Two small figures with it, a man in red and a woman with blonde hair falling from the precipice. Yes, the Brooklyn Bridge, but go further back. Now, a third figure appears, a goblin, laughing that all too familiar laugh. Yes, there. This merits further study. Peter sinks into the shadows to avoid being seen. He can't help but wonder aloud, why in the world Otto's thinking about the night Gwen, of all people, died. No, stop it, Pete. Gotta focus. I've only got 31 pieces of cover down here. And if Doc keeps looking around, he will find me. And I'm in no condition for a rematch. What I need now is a good hiding place. That's when Peter stumbles upon an old shared memory of one of the first times Otto got the better of him in a fight. Not much room on my side of memory lane, but maybe, if I'm lucky, it's a two-way street. Don't remember trying this before. Then again, I don't remember much of anything. But this could work. If there's a way to take you down, Ock, maybe the answer's tucked away inside your memories. Here goes. Peter dives into the memory of Otto Octavius and swirls into the vast, colorful palette of the mindscape. He wasn't ready for this. It's a flood of moments, an ocean of memories, and Peter's just 31 drops, being absorbed, diluted, washed away. He can't hold on. He didn't think it through. It's a boy, says the doctor, jostling the baby before handing him over to his mother. Here you go, Mrs. Octavius. Have you chosen a name? Yes, she says softly. Otto Gunther Octavius. No! Peter screams from the baby's cloudy subconscious. I'm Peter Parker. I'm Peter Parker. I'm Peter Within Tribeca, within the apartment of Peter Parker, Otto tinkers with one of his spider bots. That's not right, he mumbles. How did he do it? How did he circumvent my technology? Of all the... You're muttering again, Slick. Anna Maria enters the room with a small snack and a cup of water. Anna Maria! Sorry, dear. A little preoccupied. Oh, I know what your problem is. Low blood sugar. You forgot to eat again. And sleep? Ever since I moved in, you've barely come to bed. Is it... No, Otto says quickly. I've just been busy, is all. Helping Spider-Man is very important work. Speaking of which, you have your own company now. And you're rarely there, too. So Johnny and I, we've been covering for you a lot. Is that so? Otto asks. You're too good to me, Anna. You know, I've been thinking about making you a partner. Otto opens his jacket pocket and glances briefly at the small ring box inside. Anna, unaware of this, says, I'm honored, but you should probably run it by Sajani first. No, Otto counters. I think you have the final word here. Well, as long as it doesn't have to go past Spider-Man 2. Slick, I know you two have some kind of agreement, but you won't be doing him any good if you're tired, hungry, and destitute. I'm sure even Spidey can recognize that. Recognize? Otto gasps. Of course. Curse me for a fool! The one part of the spider bots I didn't design! Quickly, he picks up his phone. Uatu Jackson, this is Peter Parker. We have to talk, immediately. It's about your facial recognition software. What? He hung up. On me? The impudent whelp. Later, Mayor Jameson makes a journey to see Liz Allen, CEO of Alchemax, the corporation made off the bones of Oscorp and the IPs created by Horizon Labs. Your man Stone messaged me, said the order was ready. I want to see them, now. Liz explains to the mayor that Tiberius can get ahead of himself. There are still safety tests to perform. The mayor, however, cares little of that. So, Mason Banks, head of security, escorts the mayor to the back lab where Tiberius Stone and his assistant, the time-displaced Spider-Man from 2099, Miguel O'Hara, await. Do whatever it takes, the mayor tells the two. Wrap this up, fast. The spider's planning something. He never stops. I see that now. And he and the goblin are in cahoots, laying siege to my city. I have to put an end to it. Tiberius scoffs. Well, your private Slayer patrol will do just that. Give the word and... The mayor, without looking, instructs the others. No! There's one more thing he needs to know. Before he dies, he needs to know it was by my hand. Elsewhere, within the West Village, Uatu Jackson does his best to ignore the summonings of Peter Parker. But, suddenly, there is a tapping at his window. He explores the origin of the noise and finds Spider-Man clinging to the outer wall of his apartment. Uatu Jackson. Spidey? Whatever grievances you have with Parker can wait. You will answer to me, though. Yeah, sure. I mean, dude, you're like an Avenger in everything. It doesn't take long for Spider-Man and Uatu to find the origin of the Goblin Protocols. The Protocols order all Spider-Bot functions to ignore anything with a goblin face. But, luckily, Spider-Man can use that to locate the source of the transmission. Wait, Uatu says. This is the same application I developed for the Wraith in the lenses in her costume. She could be compromised too. We should warn. Priorities, Jackson. One thing at a time. Your friend, Captain Watanabe, can wait. Hold on. You know she's really... I know many things, but most of all, I know the goblin must be stopped. As far as I'm concerned, the needs of Yuri Watanabe are a distant second. And at that moment, Yuri Watanabe is still on the search for Carly Cooper. I want to know exactly where Peter Parker is right now, she orders. Sajani Jaffrey crosses her arms and raises an eyebrow. And I assure you, Captain, as his business partner, I couldn't agree more. This isn't a joke, Miss Jaffrey. Peter Parker is my #1 person of interest in the case of a missing police officer. And I find it hard to believe that the owner of a new startup company could go days without contacting any of you. Sajani rolls her eyes. Tell me about it. Believe me, Captain, whatever backroom interrogation games you've got planned for Parker are nothing compared to what I'm going to do when I get my hands on him. Captain, Watanabe pauses. Nice try, Miss Jaffrey, but I'm not buying any of it. you can expect to see officers camped out here until that man decides to show his face. This isn't over. I will find him, no matter what rock he's hiding under. Spider-Man crawls within the dank sewers beneath New York. His signal's holding, and strong, no matter how far under the city it's leading him. According to his files, these tunnels were for a scrapped and abandoned subway line. Correction, a fully functioning line, running in secret under the entire city. Otto can't help but wonder how on earth the Goblin pulled that off. Drawing power, avoiding other trains, it's astounding. Which explains how he and his men get around and out of sight so quickly. A criminal underworld, literally underground. Otto would be impressed if he wasn't so
Spider-Man! Took you long enough.
A voice scratches through the darkness, alerting Otto.
And after I sent you the world's largest invitation. Lights!
A fleet of floodlights turn on, blinding the spider. Goblin, show yourself.
Bit slow today, bug brain. That's exactly what I'm doing! You heard me say lights, right? Thought you'd like to see exactly what you're up against.
Brave talk.
Yeah? Well, that's just me all over. Me and my army.
There are 10 men within Spider-Man's eye line. 11, counting the Goblin. Behind his lenses, Spider-Man brings up all the data he can about the various villains before jumping into attack. But before he can, the Goblin King snaps his finger, dismissing the others.
Boys, if you don't mind, the spider and I have business to discuss.
What? You're giving up on your advantage. Why would you?
Oh, that costume parade. Just a simple show of force. Sorry. Hope that hasn't gotten us off on the wrong foot. Please, have a seat. After all, this is a whole new dynamic for us.
The Goblin King takes a seat at the table and waits for Spider-Man to oblige. Otto's spider sense isn't reading anything from the table, chair, or the room, or even the Goblin. But then again, given the circumstances, why would it? What do you mean? He asks, taking the seat. The Goblin digs in his satchel and removes Carly Cooper's journal before tossing it on the table.
Well, strictly speaking, going by the book, this book, actually, you and I have never been the worst of enemies, have we, Otto?
Otto doesn't say a word. The king, however, says plenty.
Yes, I can see what you're thinking. It's because of that friend of yours, Carly Cooper. Well, not your friend. The real Spider-Man's friend. She figured it out and connected all the dots in this little book. Gotta hand it to you, Octavius. I always tried to get under Spidey's skin, but you actually did it. You literally got into his webbed head. Good for you. Nothing? I don't usually give compliments. Fine. Here it is. Over the years, we've both made plays at criminal empires. Why? Because we understand that it's the lawless. All those who break the rules who shape the world. And as men of rare intellect, we know we can't leave that privilege to regular brutes and thugs. Only the best and brightest will do, which is why I am offering you a partnership. Together, we could rule New York. The Goblin and his second.
Second? Otto thinks to himself. His rage peaks, and instantly, he stands to his feet and slams his fist on the table, breaking it to pieces. Never! You understand me, Osborn. I was Dr. Octopus. Now, I am something far greater. I am Spider-Man. I will free my city from your grip, and this shall be my finest hour. The very notion forces a cackle out of the king.
More like your final seconds!
The Goblin King raises his hand, and a blast of electricity exits his glove and cracks the air as he attacks Spider-Man.
Die, fool! And let there be an end to this, once and for all!
The king's laughter is cut short when he notices that his attack isn't actually affecting Spider-Man at all. It's just going through him, pixelating him. Sorry, you were saying?
What? But how?
Hologram, you pointy-eared imbecile. Please, did you really think I'd march into your secret lair alone, unprepared, and with no reinforcements? Don't let my new youthful appearance fool you, Norman. I've been at this for years, longer than you. The goblin sighs.
But apparently not long enough to know why they're called secret lairs. Begin the assault,
he says into the speaker tucked away in his collar. Above Spider Island, Menace, the Goblin Knight, and Monster lead a malignity of goblins with only one goal in mind: to bring down Spider Island, to fire all weapons, to raise the entire base to the ground. And so they do, with gleeful enjoyment, with their gliders loaded, with their pumpkin bombs in hand, and within a matter of minutes, within a bath of wicked fire, the entire base is brought down.